Welcome to ASCENT. I'm here with a Divine Masculine Insights reading. Today, we're going to hear a message from the DM of the past. Now, I will acknowledge that some of you will find this message and really resonate because you are either new to the journey or there's just a message in here for you. Many of you who are on the channel are more so going to get a lot out of this from when you met or around the time where you started to recognize this person as your divine masculine. We're going to look into what they were dealing with, what they had going on. You may have seen one of the recent questions from the collective where we talk about why so many twin flames often meet under just really crazy circumstances, or their meeting creates a very chaotic life. And so it's really easy as a divine feminine, I know for myself, to look at what was going on in my life and what I think I know about my DM just based on what I understood in that moment. I think there is going to be even more clarity provided to those of you from this reading in particular who might have been missing some things, or again, are just at the beginning of your journey and you're getting blessed with this early information where many don't get this message until later. So figure out where you stand in this. I'm going to bless and shuffle. While I'm doing that, comment something about when you met your DM. Whether this is, some people remember the date, some people remember the what the moment felt like, and you know, for me, I know it was like eye contact with Mr. Lightwork. It was very, very strange. A magnetic pull, right? Kind of like threw my arms around him, and I am not a touchy person. If I don't know you, even if I do know you, I probably don't want you touching me. And I just threw my arms around this person. And so, yeah, whether it's something like that, or again, even just the year, the time, something weird about it. I have a feeling that those who are in the chat, and maybe even some people who come back and look at these comments, need to see some common denominators. Not sure why. I'll see if there's something I can find in there for a future reading. All right, let's get going. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Wow. I don't know if you can. I got a weird glare, huh? Very interesting. Okay. Can't even. A little tight here. Wow. And we have 10 of Pentacles. This is major partnership energy, a very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. But think about what we saw. We saw an awakening happening because of two very deep emotional needs. The desire to move on, the desire to find stimulation and excitement in our life that goes beyond the physical. We see this divine work at play from the outside, right? God, source, spirit, universe, kind of creating a catalyst event. And remember, we're focusing on DM here, but as the mirror, you may still get a lot of information as a divine feminine from these messages. So, okay, think back to what you know about you, but now take a little bit of time to say, what might I not understand? What have I not considered this entire time we've been in separation, or this entire time I've been on this journey? What have I not considered about where they were and about how or when their journey began? And what is it about me where I, for some of you, may only believe that it's me that creates the awakening for my divine masculine. If I'm not near them or with them, then they're not actually growing. What made me believe that? Because here we see the energies of awakening were sent to the divine counterpart before, it seems. And I say that only because this is my divine deck. Okay, let's look at the 5D. Look at that. You want to talk about a transition? You can see the rod in this person's hand. And this is a Pentacles card. Don't get it twisted. Okay, transition. I am not happy where I am. I mean, this is This is wild. Look at that. Healing from trauma, taking on our sword of truth. And you guys know for me that 6 of Wands and that 4 of Swords has very, wow. And the very first 2 cards added up to 13, which is, I saw death, I saw transition, I saw release. And then we get the 4 of Swords right after. Okay, because those are the 3 cards. The only other card missing from that would be, what is it? Death. 9 of Wands. That's the only other card that's missing from that cluster of cards. I have my little connection with different cards and just throwing that out there for someone. One more. Well, isn't that interesting? This is about a choice, about a dream. Okay. Wow. A choice, a dream, crossing the miles to save the damsel in distress. Again, not all divine feminines are going to consider themselves damsels in distress for some reason, one reason or another. But this is still, hold on, let me see something. 11. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay. We got to keep going. This was not supposed to be this long already. And would we look at this? Again, not every divine feminine is going to look and have a life like this. Not every divine masculine wants a divine feminine to look or have a life like this. But think about this more from a spiritual sense. And you see for the 3D, I'm not using my typical standard 3D deck for the DM. I'm actually using the healing cards. We see the 6 of Swords, another card about going forth, another card. And guess what? In the Rider-Waite, wow, this is weird because the Empress, you can see the waterfall in this one. But in the Rider-Waite, the 6 of Swords has what? DM holding what in their hand? Holding what in their hand? A rod. Swords in their boat. A rod in their hand going across what? Probably what looks like a river because you can see the land on the other side. This is very specific. This is the only card in this deck that I know what it means. And I believe that the meaning for this one is, without like checking the book, I believe the meaning for this one is end struggle, seek higher mind. I think that's what that's. I'm just saying. You want to end struggle? Bounty's a good way to do that. I mean, come on. All right. Okay. Wow. It's the Wheel of Fortune, but it's Harvest, and we just had Bounty. Okay, Chris, calm down. And then Rebirth. You want to know why this is freaking crazy? Because we just had the 10, we had 3, we had 6, and then we get 19 in the end. And it's Rebirth. And guess what? In this one, you remember we saw the Bounty, we saw the Harvest, and then we see the Rebirth, and in it there's the DM and the DF, and this is the 6 of Swords where they're going to a new land. I'm just trying to say something. I just feel like this is wild. This is like I don't even it's like Twin Flame Journey 101. Wow. Okay, and look at that. 8 of Wands. Nope. Swords. Forgive me. 8 of Swords. This is a sync. 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords. Okay. So we see lots of things happening here. Lots of things happening. But the divine masculine's job here is to be able to move forward. Get out of the position they're in where it's just constant struggle and chaos, keeping them trapped in their same old life that they honestly believe is just what they deserve, is just what the only thing that they're worth, taking them and really humbling them, most likely through the Pentacles journey. Think about the cards on the Pentacles journey. Just think about that person's journey from, let's just say 2 of Pentacles all the way up to the King of Pentacles. That is not easy. It's not. And because there is so much abundance around you, it can even feel sometimes like you've already made it. It can feel sometimes like it's never just even possible. And yet, what do we say? This all comes from a dream. You can't be the divine masculine who saves the divine feminine, right? The divine damsel in distress, if you will, if you don't believe that you're the divine masculine, right? If you don't believe you're the hero. And yet there's a dream underneath all the chaos of that life that still shines through. I'm freaking shaking. Like I'm just a little freaked out. If you are freaked out, like this video, because I feel like sometimes the freak out in a reading is what makes people realize it's real, if that makes any sense. And for me to freak out in my own readings, sometimes y'all know that's the ones I'm like, make sure you like this one. Make sure people see this one. Okay. 8 of Swords in the 3D for this particular deck means they're healing this. That is a requirement in order to be able to receive this. The abundance that from the very beginning, let's just make sure we understand something. Before we got here, we said what? Happy family life. I did not just talk about the standard part of this. There is a super glare here, isn't there? Ugh. I didn't just talk about the standard part of this card. I talked about the fact that, I'm going to try and see if I can is my hand big enough? No, my hand is not big enough to cover that glare. Okay, what about this? The standard version of this is really just talking more so about the abundance. There's even some spiritual, I talk sometimes about how in order to have the Ten of Pentacles, you have to have the Ten of Cups, because the base for this, the foundation for the Ten of Pentacles is, joy and happiness within your own life, and then being able to expand that and share that with the world through whatever abundance you've been given. So it's interesting to see this show up, and yet I'm really drawn to the family thing, which on this particular card is pretty much the main part of the story. And yet we get all the way down here, probably not anticipating that this is about wanting a family, or again, at least whatever their dream would be. I've never wanted kids. So me seeing myself having a happy life like that was not what my vision of a happy life was. So don't get it twisted. If you're like, well, my DM doesn't want kids, this must not resonate. No, it's not about that. Family is what you choose to keep around you, whether it's your blood family or, friends or fictive kin, family of affinity, whatever you want to call it. This is about being happy in life. This is about being happy wherever they are. And I think the primary reason why we're being led to look at that is because this is probably the first time this individual has seen a future as possible, the future of their dreams as possible. No one looks to the future if their present sucks and they think that's all life will ever be. Why would I look to the future? I don't want to see myself just older and more miserable. You know what I mean? I don't want to see myself at this same job in 5 years or whatever, right, is the problem. This person, from the very beginning, really wanted something that they never wanted before. And whether they met you and that was the part that, was catalyzed, or whether it was before they met you and then you showed up as this kind of walking vision of their future and freaked them out, whatever it is, I think it's important to understand that this person's awakening goes way beyond you, way beyond you. And that's not an insult to you or any of the work that you've done or how much you love them or how much you've put up with. It's just the truth of their reality. That's exciting. Because I think that a part of separation that's really scary is if I'm not there, if I'm stuck here and I can't be there to remind them or encourage them or whatever it is I think I have to be there for, then, oh no, they must not be growing. And now we're realizing that's not even true. That is most likely a toxic myth of YouTube tarot, to be honest. And I'm starting to kind of be more open about the fact that the YouTube tarot community is unlike anything I think tarot has ever probably experienced. And so this community is definitely, we're working through some kinks here. Having the availability of free readings like this, just constant, it's so just be very cautious about what you just believe because anybody says it. Acknowledge when something resonates, but also be aware that you might be reaching, right? In this case, I hope that this makes you feel better to realize that your person has dreams just like you do, has goals just like you do, has visions just like you do. It might be scary if you've been trying to control it and you want them to have the same vision you do and the same dream that you do and they don't. And it almost seems like that must mean you guys can't be together. That does seem scary. But to know that Somehow or another, this person has been prepared and designed and is been on their way to you, maybe even before you ever met, but at the very least, since the day that that trigger happened, that should make you feel a relief. Whew. Well, did we look back here? It's the freaking Lovers, and it's the 6. Okay, this is 14 again. This is divine alignment, you guys. This is divine alignment. I want to save the damsel because I'm trying to get it in. I'm trying to take my damsel to the Garden of Eden and be at peace. Did we look back here? We did. 3 of Swords. Okay. And wait, did we look back here? It's 11. I'm just saying, this is 12. Okay. This is 11. This is 14. I see death standing out. And I think that the reason that's happening is because until the transition is done, until the release is done, until all of that, it's going to be really, really hard to see all of this. Okay. I think even that's probably why, strength shows up. And in this deck, it happens to be what? It's not 8. It should be 8, but it's not 8. It's 11. And guess what? It also only has the divine feminine. We don't see, the lion with his tail between his legs. We actually kind of see something quite different. We see a very strong, powerful, and, willing beast, willing to go forward in this tiger. I think that a lot of the messages we're getting already, a lot of the syncs, everything we're seeing here is just to make sure that if this message is for you, you don't run off or avoid what does come through, okay? Make sure that when you have those things happen, take a little note or something. Do something to look something up later. Like if these 8s are standing out to you right now, or that idea of death and transition, and maybe look this kind of stuff up. All right. Before I do anything else, because it was supposed to be a very short, quick reading, I'm trying to make sure that people who don't have the time to sit through 2 hours of channeling can still get the messages they need without me having to cut those videos down into little snippets and stuff. So I'm going to do my best here to keep it short, but I do feel led to read from this book about transition. It opened directly to the Empress, then the Lovers, then Justice, then the Wheel, now Release. I'm just, okay. This card signifies it's time to move on because this project or phase of your life is now complete. Interesting. This is literally immediate confirmation. That phase of their life that many of you might think they're still in because their awakening isn't done, so they must still be there or something, or how, I don't know why some people do think that way. It's been over. In fact, I think that the cutoff was literally the moment that they met you, if not before. There's no benefit in remaining in the situations. Shake off the old, welcome the new instead. You may experience a sense of relief at this ending, or there may be some sadness. Either way, it's time to leave that which you've outgrown, which I think they've known for a while but didn't know how to do. Take your time in adjusting to this change in your life. It's not necessary to rush ahead. Be kind to yourself during this period of transition and seek the support of friends and family. If you have found yourself being a bit unkind, even if you feel that it's warranted, even if you regret it later, but in the moment you feel like, how else was I supposed to respond? If you feel that you have been unkind, unforgiving in your relationship with your DM for any reason, again, not to say that you must be wrong and they must be right. Let's get over this whole, well, then what am I? Am I separation or am I union? Let's get over this need to classify, categorize, label. Let's stop that. If you have been unkind at all to this person when they've been clearly shown the path to their greatest joy is avoiding drama, nonsense, chaos, etc., and some of you, I can already hear it. Oh my gosh, but Grace, you don't understand. That's their life. So why would I be to blame for it? No. Sometimes I ask Mr. Lightwork not to leave stuff out, even when the house is already messy. And to him, it's probably like, wow. So I can't leave this here. I can't leave this here, but you can have this, right? All your little projects around the house. He probably doesn't talk like that, but let's go there, right? And it's like, but you don't understand, Mr. Lightwork. I have this stress issue with clutter visually, right? And I already feel bad enough that the house is messy. Don't worry, it's going to get cleaned. I don't want you adding to it. And then me now also seeing your mess because it's frustrating for me. And so you might say, well, Grace, I don't understand. He caused, she caused, they caused the mess in their own life. How the heck do I have anything to do with that? And if I point it out, or if I call them out, or if I just feel like I must tell them because no one else is going to tell them the truth, that may very well have been exactly what you were supposed to do in those moments. So, you know, again, no one's right or wrong here. It's just a good answer, a good thing to help you understand why this person may have been avoiding you. Okay? All right. It's funny because people have been commenting and they'll say, Grace, you know, it's so sad that you feel the need to defend yourself. Or half the reading is you re-explaining something you meant. And it's like, you know what? I know that for some of you, it might feel like I'm being defensive or something. No. I just understand how the internet works and how communication works. And I'm not afraid to make sure that my point has been made. You might feel that the point has been made, but what if someone else doesn't? What if someone else comes back and just doesn't get it? Maybe not because they're dumb, but maybe not even because they're trying not to understand, but they just can't. They just can't. So let me do my job. I know what I'm doing. I feel okay. If there is anyone who I don't want talking to me, I just block them from my channel. Let me do what I need to do to make sure I'm reaching everyone, okay? And I really appreciate those of you who have that patience and can kind of understand, like, yeah, maybe she needs to tell a little story so they really get it. I got it. Maybe I'll just get to learn something about Grace, and that's cool too, okay? All right, so what are we going to do here? I think that we should go through and split, and we're just going to do deep. Some of you guys have seen this in your DM Insights readings. I try not to do them in the shorter ones. So if you order like a 30 or 40-minute reading, it's rare that I do these because they end up being like an hour. But in the deep energy insights, when I really try to figure out what I can help with the most, I tend to rely on this when I first start working with a client, because I think that understanding the past is really important. So this is where we're doing this. This is where we're getting. Some of you will recognize it. Let's go ahead and split and dive right in. Whoa. Okay. And we're going to go right here. And this is going to help us understand. So let's just, this is the moment that we've been talking about this whole time. Whatever it, because by now, many of you will say, you know what? I know when this probably was. Maybe this is the beginning of the relationship when we had that big fight. Maybe this is in the end, you know, the last time we spoke before we went into separation, whatever. Okay. But we're going to look at what happened before that and what happened after, which is most likely kind of telling us where they're at now or where they've been. They may not even be here anymore. They may be over here. If this is a timeline and this is like 1, 2, look at, you see, I went here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why? Because even between moments, there are more moments. So I don't want you to think that this is some all-encompassing of their whole past. No, this is going to give us an important moment. And your job here is to figure out why this particular moment is being brought up. That's where your clarity begins. Once you figure out, why are you bringing this up to me, Spirit? I don't get the point. Then you'll be able to say, okay, now let me dive deeper into where my DM really is. Okay. So what do we need to know about this period? Well, we are clearly getting a carry through from the original energies, because the last thing we saw was this 8. Oh, and here's another 8. Oh my goodness. Oh, and look at that. As I said, here's another 8. Oh my gosh. How crazy is this? 8 of Cups, 8 of Cups. This like slid out from underneath. Some of you guys just saw that on the camera. Okay. So we have these 8s. 8s. I think that many of you are automatically going to go, Grace, that's karma. Grace, it's karma. And I think that I hear you very clearly, because I'm supposed to say back to you, yes, their karma, their stuff, their issues. They are working on balancing things out and making a choice and a decision. This has nothing to do with you, because you know what I just saw for you immediately? I saw the Strength card as number 11 with a divine feminine walking side by side with this powerful beast. I saw you using the strength that you'd already built and developed and going out and creating opportunities for more justice in this world. That is what you were supposed to be doing while they were dealing with this. If you weren't already there, that was supposed to be your focus. Because many of you had already been dealing with your karma. You'd already been dealing with your issues. You'd already been dealing with the problems. You were ahead of the game of the DM there. So just ask yourself, maybe is that why I had so much cognitive dissonance all the time during that period, especially when we first met? Some of you were like, nah, Grace, I was totally in my strength. Yes, I was in my strength and justice. I was ready to do this. I was walking in my truth. I was speaking my truth. Cool, great. Figure out where you were. DM gets sent this energy of, let's move, let's go. In spite of the fear, in spite of the karma, remember, 8 is also a number of manifestation and abundance, stepping into one's personal power. Their life started to change almost instantaneously around that period where their twin flame journey began. Because guess what? DMs also are on a twin flame journey. The twin flame journey, according to YouTube Tarot, typically looks like the divine feminine dragging her feet or his feet, chasing the DF. It's this weird thing of the DF going to save the DM kind of. And it's like, yo, that's not really what's happening either way, but it's definitely not what's happening on your side. Again, if it is, it's like a 1% chance. It's a small cluster of divine feminines who actually are supposed to be doing some of the things that they're doing. Very small cluster. But for the most part, your DM got the message. They're working through their stuff. And it happened so fast that might be part of the reason why it looks like they are not doing anything. We talked about that the other day. Someone gave me the perfect way to say it. I was picturing something else. Like I was picturing like an art installation, but they said, nah, it's like when a fan is spinning. And I don't know if you've ever, like when you were a kid, looked at a fan, and if you kind of try to like blink your eyes really quick, you can see the individual blades. But the fan is moving so fast that you don't realize there's 5 or 4 or 3 blades, whatever it is. And I feel like in this case, we have this situation where you looked at your divine masculine and it looked like they were just sitting there when really what was happening is they were surrounded by blades. 8 of Swords. Think about that. Okay, so you think you know what's going on with this person, but you truly don't have any idea. And many of you will say, well, Grace, that's their fault for not communicating with me. And it's not their job to tell you everything about them just because you want to know it. I know, rip the Band-Aid off, Grace. So what do we have? Oh, and what do we have? We have 8 and Page of Wands, which adds up to what? 9 of Wands. I told you there was one thing missing, and this was the last part. The last part was leaving behind a wound. Think about the 9 of Wands. Wounded soldier, post-battle, still hasn't got the message that the war is over. Your divine masculine had some things to figure out. But underneath that pain, if they would grab their rod, their wand. It's so funny because y'all heard me talk about the helicopter the other day. And now we're sitting here, we keep talking about that rod, that wand. It just keeps showing up though, doesn't it? You, in so many ways, are their divine spark. But what you don't realize is that you are light. You think you're a light bulb, meaning someone has to carry you around and plug you into the wall in order for you to shine. No, sweetheart. You're, in your worst case, or more like a freaking wildfire. But in your best, or at the very least, when you're not necessarily aware, are closer to this tea light than anything. Your DM does not have to stand here to keep up with this fire. So when you shared a piece of yourself with them in whatever way it was, even if it was just in the spirit, dude, they took a wand, the one they were holding through the whole dang war, and holding as they were just a prisoner to their own and didn't even know the war was over and going through all this stuff. And they took a little bit of your light and then they went on to finish their journey. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people have done that to people like us. A lot of people come in and they take, but the truth is we're like that crater that they dug up somewhere in like Siberia or something. And it was like they cracked the earth's mantle or something. I don't know. And like they dug into like a volcano or something like that. And so then there was like this crater in the ground and they realized, oh my gosh, it's releasing all this toxic gas. Maybe if we set it on fire, it'll burn off really quickly. And 10 years later, this crater is still burning on fire. They basically lit a little tea light in the earth. That's you, babe. You are not what you think. You are so much bigger, stronger, better. And unfortunately, some of the issues that we as twin flames, many of us who have trauma to deal with, have from this, like, again, PTSD is the easiest way to describe it. It's not always that simple, though. Many of the things that we take on or do, or it's like, dude, or even miss and can't see is because of these issues that we think have to be fixed. No, baby, it's about healing. And sometimes you just got to sit. You can't. Some people try to make you feel bad, right? Oh, you know, if you did this or you did this, you would heal faster. And it's like, look, my doctor told me that if I don't sit down for the next 6 weeks, I'll die. Don't let anybody make you feel bad that you're in week 4, 5, or 6 and you kind of feel better and you want to get up and go, but you feel like, no, the doctor's telling me to sit here. Don't feel bad about doing that. And don't feel bad about the fact that the first 3 weeks you did it, but you thought your doctor was crazy, because that's where some of you are. You've been healing. You've been doing what you were told, but you even feel guilty about doing what you know is right. Don't let this happen to you. Don't let this be you. And if it is you, don't let this be you no more. You don't have to be that. Look, I just want to show you something. Look another. Oh, I didn't even mean to grab. I'm sorry. It's the King of Wands. I was actually going for the Lover's card. I just saw it poking out. I just was about to tell you how crazy it was that not only did like the Eight of Cups show up, but then the Lovers was underneath. Like all these sinks are trying to show up to get your attention, and the King of Wands shows up, and that's like the husband card. And okay, anyways, so look. Don't look at your divine counterpart and just assume that because they weren't moving as fast as you thought, or because they didn't do things a certain way, because they didn't want to do it with you by their side at the beginning. Don't just write it off. Don't just listen to people on YouTube or in the groups you read. Don't just listen to people. Take the time in your healing and ask yourself if it even makes sense. I'm serious. It happens to the best of us. I am no longer mad when people come and they take a little bit of my light and then they leave without ever giving me anything back, because I understand that is not how it works. That's just what I see. I'm asking you to ask yourself right now, is this how it really works? Is what is in my head telling me that this journey is bad and icky, and or that the only way for it to be good is for me to just deal with the fact that everything has to be a struggle and pretend is that really the truth? Ask yourself why you believe it. Even when I speak, rightfully divide the word of truth so that you don't get caught up being wrong about where your DM is, how long they've been there, what they are or are not doing on their journey. I see a person moving a lot farther than you think, a lot quicker than you think. Did we look back here? We did. Ha! Page of Wands leads us to Page of Pentacles. This person has been sent energy that says it's time to go. And their response in the spirit is very clear. It just says, look, I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not that good. In fact, this could be what happens when you guys come into contact, because most likely they're meeting you where? 9 of Pentacles. So while you're over here in all this freaking abundance or seeming abundance, Mr. Lightwork thought I had this most abundant life in the world. And you know what? He was right. Even though I was in a place where I did not have a lot when I met him, and I was really going through a lot of things, and it was actually a major transition point for me. And the truth is, the abundance that I had then that might have looked like lack even to me is what got me the abundance that I have now. And the abundance that I have now that, again, my future self could look back and think about, like, look how poor I was. Like, no, not at all, actually. See, sometimes people have to think something, walk through it, and then go, that didn't make any sense. Just like some of you need to ask yourself this question of, is this really what I believe just because somebody said it? Is it because I might have wanted to hear it that one day, but now it's become my belief and I don't like the way it makes me feel every day, right? So it's like sometimes divine masculines and others are going to say something along the lines of, I'm not good enough. And look at that person over there, they've got plenty. Meanwhile, the person over there is like, I'm still at the beginning of my abundance. Don't get caught up in all that. Don't worry about all that stuff. Instead, look at what the divine masculine does. They make a choice. They take the one thing. Remember, see, don't forget, if you weren't here for the beginning of this message, you're probably like, Grace, you're just talking. No. If you were here from the beginning, you saw the Seven of Pentacles. You saw how it was possible for your divine counterpart to not just be on the Pentacles journey, but to also be on the Wands journey. Why? Because this person needed confidence. They needed to choose a path, walk it without confidence, with actually probably more humility than we thought, only for them to be given and given and given abundantly more, to be given everything they've ever dreamed of, to be given bruh, when I tell you some of these DMs, if you keep bitterness in your heart, again, I'm not talking to everybody, but if you keep bitterness in your heart about them being happy without you, oh, you are going to be in it for a rude awakening, because some divine masculines are meant to become the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands before they ever step foot in your heart space and vibration. Do you understand what that means? Do you understand that that means that you're going to have to wait on that person, if that's how you see it, that you're going to have to wait on them? And it's not about you. It's not about them not noticing how great you are. They obviously see how great you are, because the first thing that happens when you come around is you remind them of everything they're not. But you also remind them of everything they've ever wanted, because, oh my gosh, you are a dream to them. Stop getting mad when I tell you the truth about the DM, talking about you defending them. Actually, I'm not. I'm telling you just the reality of what's going on. I know sometimes it's hard to believe these things, especially in our society, especially with the movements and everything that's happening right now, that there's anybody good out there. But you know deep down your DM is a gem, an absolute gem. This was just them getting dug up out of the coal, out of the darkness. And look who shows up. See, this is them, I think. And I think the reason why you had to show up, look at the sinks in the I mean, look at, this is crazy. Okay, sorry. Oh, and that's 9 again, isn't it? 1 and 8 again. Whoa. Because this is, I think, probably the transition that's supposed to happen. You want to talk about confidence. Well, if this is who you believe yourself to be, if you are a DM and you think you're this, but something in you says, no, you are this too, this could be their inner feminine, probably activated by their mirror, you, coming through and saying, wait, you're dope though. Let me show you something. Don't be mad that it doesn't always get to be your fleshly self that comes in and helps them, because sometimes you're doing more for them than you know. You activated something with them. And I'm going to tell you what, I thought Mr. Lightwork was like super confident. It was actually one of the things that surprised me about like what, because I don't really like, I don't like jerks. I don't like jerks. Mr. Lightwork was really, really sweet. He also, the more I got to know him, he had this thing where everyone around him they saw him as like, wow. But now as I got to know him more, I don't think he really saw himself that way, but he was cool with it. You know, he was cool with people seeing himself that way. I think what has to happen for a lot of DMs is they have to step into the awareness that they already have and actually believe it, which can be really challenging with everything going on around them. So this period was not only about them gaining confidence in the fact that they're able to fulfill their dreams and go after it and pursue all of it, but I think they were also needing to be shown that it wasn't going to have to just be like all blood and sweat and tears every single day to get there, that there was a lot about them that was actually already really dope. There was a lot about them that the only reason it wasn't working was because the attitude they had or the road they were choosing to take. And this is the kind of growing up that has to happen really rapidly. Oh, well, thanks God for the 8 of Wands, right? That has to happen really rapidly. My dad used to say, don't try to be with any man until he's 35, because he's not going to want to be serious. It's like, Dad, how old were you when you got married? Oh, you were 35, so you're projecting again. Okay, cool. But if you think about it, it's like, well, what the hell happens between, let's say 32 and 35? What if I meet a 32-year-old? What happens between 32 and 35 that suddenly the person just grows up? It's like, that's not really how it works. That's also just a complete fallacy, by the way. What happens between a certain, period of time? And I do get the sense of the divine masculines kind of reaching that point where they're ready. And it doesn't, I don't think it happens from 20 to 25, 25 to 30, 30 to 32, 32 to 35. I don't think there's a time frame for it. This is a long-standing process. And I don't think that the whole time they were just completely doing the opposite. I just think that there are some paths that led them over here, and kind of just kept these people who didn't want a relationship, or who didn't want to have kids, or who didn't want to buckle down and do their job, or whatever. It made them appear like they were completely off the road and just doing all the wrong things, but that really wasn't the case. It was just here and there mistakes were made, here and there choices and decisions were made. And finally the divine masculine is being given this push where suddenly, he's 35 and he's ready to get married. It's like, what happened? Well, what happened was they had an awakening within them. It wasn't that they grew to a certain age, or, a relationship had to have hurt them or helped. People are ready when they're ready. And yes, those things have something to do with it, but those things are not also the way that you judge someone's journey. There are moments in people's lives that change them forever in an instant. There are moments in people's lives that it doesn't register until later what it really did. Stop trying to lump them in, especially with the whole DM vision, because if you have enough readers who have the same vision of a DM being bad or behind, or, a cocky douchebag, or, a humble, nice guy who's never going to get off the couch or whatever, you really start to believe that stuff. And then you apply it to everything, and you look at them and you just are going to think in your mind, yeah, they met me when they were 32. So when they turned 35, they were ready because I was the thing that helped them grow up in those few years. And it's like, no, they've been growing up since they were born. They've been having their awakening since they were born. And if you keep associating these times and dates and energies the way that you do, you're going to continue to misunderstand what was really happening for them. They're a human being going through a human experience, right? Having also on the other side of it a spiritual experience, and learning that if they try to have a balance between the two rather than just ignoring one or the other, or even writing the other one off, that there could be some change in their life. And they finally believed it. That's a message that's been told to them their whole life. They know about spirit and soul. You are often surprised to hear your DMs talk about soulmates, and yet they do. This was not some, spiritual blow to the head where they got knocked off and have amnesia about their old ways. These people are real people. And if you look at what's happening in the end, 8 of Pentacles, they're putting the work in. They're doing what has to be done. They're building. They're getting it right. They want it to be perfect because they've never had a chance in their life before to make anything even good, let alone perfect. They're just trying to grow and trying to live. Again, if you think I'm just defending them, then I think that's because you want me to sit in the box that you've decided to place me in, which is, well, she's a DF, so she's a tarot reader on YouTube, so she's this, she's that. No, I am none of the things. You do not know me like that, bruh. You don't. I'm telling you what I'm hearing, sensing, feeling, and channeling in this moment. And for some reason, many of you needed the reminder that this mythical figure from your readings, or from your past, or from your phone messages, or whatever, or even the person who's down the freaking hall from you right now as you silently burrow and try to get into their mind, this person is a human. And this person is a spirit. And they are going through what they are meant to go through. And that divine timing and divine order gets thrown out the window every time you try to write it off as them constantly making mistakes, running into towers, never changing, never growing, never getting better, running to the karma. Stop. They are working on it. And they've been working on it since they met you, if not before. What do we need to understand about this? Oh yeah, 8 of Cups. That the desire they have to move on that has shown up now at least, what is this? At least 3 times in the reading. It's not a joke. And it's not just about them. They're not as selfish as you make them out to be. They're hurt. Doesn't mean it's okay for them to hurt you. It's also true that they're hurting. I don't understand why everyone is having so much trouble believing more than one thing. See, being biracial, it makes it a lot easier for me to believe things. I'm not going to explain why. If you're not biracial, you probably won't get it. But if you are, you already know. I cannot help but look at everything because my entire life people have tried to categorize me. Imagine how your divine masculine feels that you have lumped them in with some tarot reader's divine masculine image. You're lucky actually that you have me, to be honest with you, if you want to be real. I'm the homegirl who you gonna call who isn't gonna tell you, oh, F that, he ain't nobody, she ain't shit, And I'm also not gonna say, you know what, just forgive everything they do. I'm gonna keep it real all the way through. This person has been working. And frankly, I'm gonna tell you what, any towers they experienced, baby, you better believe they didn't go running into them being an idiot, just an idiot. No. If they went running into it, I guarantee their spirit told them, I know you're scared. I know you don't believe it's possible, but you can do this. And if they came running out of it, don't, oh, look, see, made your bed, you got to lie in it. No, no, no. That could have been something Indiana Jones style. They had to go get out of that tower. I want you to stop trying to be God. I want you to stop trying, oh, what Grace, I am one. No. Listen. Then be one with Gaia. Be one, be God. Be one with universe. But that does not mean you're them or you know them. And stop, again, see, that's the problem. That's the problem. I get the sense here that the message for the divine masculine is, hey, they were kind of going through, they're taking their life seriously for the real first time in a long time, if not ever. And not just seriously like they've been fucking around this whole time, but simply that they didn't even know they were allowed to take life this seriously. And I think the message for the divine feminines where you're going to have a lot of healing is figuring out where your person is just a human being, figuring out where some of the things that they did, regardless of whether or not they hurt you, maybe they were not personal. Maybe even if Mr. Lightwork used to say stuff to me to try to make stuff personal. His favorite thing to do in the first 6 months of our relationship was to push me away. And I would be like, this is crazy because I wouldn't even talk to a person like him before that, ever. But then at the same time, I would be like, yo, I'm standing here and he's saying this, but he don't act like that. It was really weird because most people are the opposite. Most people say stuff, but their actions show different in a bad way. Mr. Lightwork was confusing. Some of you have no idea why your person did what they did, and it's not for lack of trying. It's because you want to believe certain other things. You want to know why I couldn't figure out that I had PTSD, even though I've studied psychology, specifically trying to probably figure out what's wrong with me for the past 20 years? Because it would have required me to admit that my parents were abusive, that my family was dysfunctional. I couldn't say that, so it must be something else, right? It must be something else. And I would talk about my trauma. I've been talking about being assaulted since I got assaulted. It was like, I'm fine. I'm good. Everything's good. But the reality is acknowledging that I was assaulted and then saying it and really taking, I don't know how to deal with it now because it happened so long ago, right? But I used to think I was okay with it. And now I think, am I supposed to be tripping right now? I don't know. And it's well, Grace, that thing happened so long ago. You'd have to acknowledge that back then you were a victim. Do you want to do that? So it's sometimes we avoid things, especially where 3D things happened. And then 5D stuff comes in and we get confused. And I think it's really important as divine feminines that all of us look back, especially the later in our healing that we are, and realize there may be things that in anger, fear, frustration, even fawning over our person, kind of giving them more credit maybe than whatever. There's all kinds of reasons why we might do a certain thing. And in doing that thing, we may have created an opportunity for a blockage, for an emotional blockage, for a belief blockage, for some sort of apathetic behavior. So look, I'm going to close out the reading with this information here about what was a trigger point, what you need to know. I'm going to kind of help us understand what their journey has been like since. And you also kind of want to figure out where they are, or because again, everyone coming to this channel is not necessarily new to the channel or new to Twin Flames. Many people are, and I got to kind of help everybody. And everyone wants every reading to address their situation. So that's where I always try to kind of figure out, where can you get something out of this? And I think if you're very much new to this, you need to figure out where you are on the timeline. If you're not new to this, you need to figure out what these points are referring to. And you need to say, no matter who you are, what does this part that my DM is either going through or might literally just be ending this phase? What does this part, how did I respond? How did I do things? Because this was kind of leading up to and surrounding the beginning of your dynamic. But this is going to be talking a little bit more leading up to now, or even to being, this current time. And I want you to just ask yourself, what am I supposed to get out of this? What was I missing? What did I not understand? And what did I forget to be forgiving about? What did I find myself struggling to believe because of my own pain? What have I now come to terms with in myself, but not really look back at my old relationships, because it would require me to acknowledge that someone hurt me, or maybe I hurt myself, or whatever. Okay? Take the time to ask yourself, what am I getting out of this? Because if my divine counterpart needed to heal their confidence and deal with some really, really tough, dang near traumatic tower issues in their life, like maybe even actively, not just past stuff, but maybe even in the midst of those towers, and I did as well, but yet I didn't think that they were dealing with that stuff. I didn't think they were addressing it. I thought maybe that their awakening was just happening inside, but not outside. What did I miss? What have I done to be supportive or not be supportive? Which would be destructive. Figure these things out, because we're going to get a message here. Okay. What I think is the key point of this reading for anyone who's gotten this far and this resonates, what's the most important message? Which I'm going to say, if you're still here, and especially if you're like, don't know me or don't like me, like, Grace, I normally don't watch your readings, but this is the card that you're going to want to look up after. Okay. Even if we never talk again. Hey, I love you. Have a great life. Look this up. Okay. Don't look up this deck. Don't go to your same old normal site. If this is a number and you feel led to look up a number, don't go to Joanne's Sacred Scribes, because you always go there. Go to the second page of Google. Go somewhere you've never been. That will be a real message. Ready? Wow. I don't even know. I gotta just walk away from this. I don't even know. I'm gonna read the book. I'm gonna read the book because I am not understanding. I understand that I don't understand. And it's the Ten of Pentacles. This reading is one of the most synchronistic readings we've had in quite some time. And I say that because the crazy thing is, when I decide only to use one deck, and then a bunch of syncs come out, and you're like, how the heck did that happen? But it's another thing when I use multiple decks, and then the cards are syncing within the decks, not just other readings, but within this is crazy. The syncs are within the syncs are within the syncs are within the syncs in this reading, and I'm just a little freaked out. That's all. All right. Okay, Grace, you got to breathe because you're shaking again. Okay. Ten of Pentacles. Blah, blah, blah. Accept recognition. You want to know what's weird? Where is it? Six of Wands. I believe this is correct, because this is the problem. This is where we had Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm getting confused. Yes, Six of Wands. Thank you. Okay. Ha. Ready? What is this? Wait, what did this? Oh my gosh. I'm shaking too bad, so I'm like, okay. Accept recognition. This is a time of great achievement and success. People think highly of you, and your reputation is excellent. Look at this. You've made some good decisions and worked hard. There may be some sort of public acknowledgement of your contributions, or you may be given an award for your achievements. Recognition. Reputation. Good news is on its way. Victory. Feeling good about yourself and good fortune. Hold on. I know this isn't in here, but I feel like I need to look at this Three of Cups right now. Enlarge your circle. OMG. Do you want to know what where'd it go? 3 of Cups. Enlarge your circle of spiritual kin. Now. Why is that so crazy? Because I literally use the words fictive kin, a family of affinity. Oh man. We talked from the very beginning about family. You have to understand that when I say family, that might make some divine feminines get a little squirmy in their seat because they go, but me. Listen, baby, don't you understand that when a person and another person get together and then they build family and friends around that those 2 people are the main family? They're each other's main family. I know some of you have had dysfunctional family relationships or seen people around you that are family that really aren't that close or pit each other against each other. So in your mind, hearing the word family and hearing your DM wanting a family, it could confuse some of you. And I get that. I'm trying to explain to you that expanding your circle of spiritual family, that starts with your person. Some of you know from the contract reading. If you've had a twin flame contract reading, what do? We start off with the individuals. Then we come together in union. Then we start to spread out and we have allies. Because it's those allies who are going to help us when we spread out and we build our empire. And it's that empire that's going to dominate the world. That is how the Lightworker journey of expansion for twin flames works. What are the odds that the divine masculine, before they even probably will ever know about twin flames, even maybe some of them didn't even know you existed, were awakened just for you? What are the odds that they have the 8? Let me just show you. The 8 of Pentacles in this is the person creating their wares. They're literally building. You see they're in the green outfit? The green outfit is their work outfit, okay? This person is in the process of all the things they've gathered, turning them into things they can sell. You want to talk about, see, this is crazy. Lord, how am I supposed to do a short reading when you do all this? What did I tell you about the gifts? What did I tell you about the Pentacles journey? And I can't make it any more special for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Now, what is this person doing? Look at that. Oh, they're in their white. They're in their works. They're in their professional spread. And look at the sun around there. Let's keep going. Let's finish this reading out. And 8 of Cups. Wow. Hanged Man. Rebirth. Some of y'all need to look back to 2019. Everyone does. 18, 19, 20. Look at the last 3 years. What are the odds that I was talking about like a 32 to 35 for these DMs? I'm not even that old, so Mr. Lightwork isn't either. So I'm not even trying to again, project that onto you. But it's just thinking about the 3 years, divine intervention. This is just wild. The fact that the 8 of Cups, by the way, just want to point this out. The 8 of Cups and the 4 of Cups is what gave me Hanged Man energy from the very beginning. Because you heard me talk about the awakening. What are the odds that it all comes back around? This was in the energy. This was in the energies from the very beginning. Again, we have another number 8. So we go from what? 8 of Wands back to what? We go back to the beginning of our awakening. And this is where some of you might need to take a second and step back of your understanding. Why? Because let me show you a little something here. Let me just show you something. What did we just see on the table a second ago? We saw 8, 1, 8. Now, what do we see? 8, 1 with a 0. That's 10. 8, 1. And mind you, same suit. That's Pentacles again. 8, 1, 8. This person is reversing their fortune with every single move they make. Reversing the karma, building and turning it into abundance, living up to their potential with everything they do. Do you understand that in order for them to fulfill this dream that they've had for so long, that their job is now, after they've done the work, after they've built, after they've created, they have to go back to the beginning of the awakening. Do you know who's there? You are there. I don't think you get this sometimes, DFs. Jeez, it just got super dark in here. I don't think you get this. Spirit is reminding them. And guess what? Just so you don't think this is a lie, Spirit is also trying to make sure you see all the 8s all up and through here. Why? Because from the very beginning, before you two were even born, you were meant to be together this lifetime. And all these 8s represent what the divine masculine has had on their mind since the moment they met you, if not before. More, bigger, better, different. Magic. You guys, I cannot do this. Do you understand how good I'd have to be to find a way to shuffle these cards this way? Do you understand how good I'd have to be? It's the Knight of Wands. We just had the 8 of Wands and the Knight of Wands over here, or the Page of Wands over here. And now what? Wasn't this a part of the energy? I can't remember now. Too many. No, I don't think so. A lot of cards. Oh my gosh. It's the freaking 4 of Wands underneath the Hanged Man. Why do I say that? Oh my gosh. Because some of you guys know I see this as, oh my gosh. It's right here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. A lot of the grace stories are coming through. And this is why you guys, some of you who are new might be like, what are you effing talking about? But some of you who have not been here, you're going, wow, Grace, because you already know that I believe that everyone has an origin story, right? Everyone's got their little thing. Now, the Hanged Man is the Hanged Man, but the Hanged Man could also be, because all the stories within the stories within the stories, the King of Wands. What have you guys heard me talk about? When it comes to the wands, the way that the wands abundance works is the King of Wands got off this tree, took a branch with him to remember it, like a walking stick. Oh my gosh, Mr. Lightwork just bought a walking stick yesterday. Girl, I'm getting married, girl. I'm finna get married, girl. Anyways, so he takes a walking stick, and when he gets to his kingdom, he marries his woman, gives her half of his walking stick. LOL. Gives her half of his walking stick. But he realizes when he cuts the walking stick that it grows to the same size or just duplicates. And so everyone in the Wands kingdom is given a piece of the original tree, the original branch. And that's why everyone's rod looks the same, because it comes from the same branch, from the tree of knowledge. From this moment. The fact that this shows up underneath, and the fact that the continuation from this is to this and that's underneath, and the fact that the King of freaking Wands showed up when I was actually trying to look at the lovers, again, I cannot keep up with channeling, and I already have trouble keeping up with my own brain just as a person, just as a normal person. So please don't get mad at me that I'm trying to show you what I see. I can't. That's not how channeling works, y'all. I'm sorry. It is not Batman Forever. We do not have a dream machine. You cannot watch my dreams, okay? Because they're full of bats. But anyway, so your divine masculine was told a long time ago that things were going to be moving quickly, that the delays were over, that there was a lot happening all at once, and they needed to be prepared for it. So it was time for them to go find their confidence. They set out, they said, listen, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do the work. I'm going to go do the work, because all along, oh my God, I forgot this was here. And this, oh my gosh, this reading is freaky. You know that, right? Okay, cool. All along, I kept this in the back of my mind while I worked. Okay. Whistle while you work. So then when I get over here and you tell me that it's time to go back to the thing, don't worry, I haven't forgotten my dream. I've been working the whole time trying to get there. And guess what? Now I'm ready to go save the damsel in distress, because this is the sexy knight. Now, I love the Knight of Swords, but the Knight of Swords is more like Marine soldier. And you guys have often heard me talk about the Knight of Wands as the Matthew McConaughey of the knights. Very, very fast, naturally fast. Grew up hopping on the back of wild horses on the beach, but still, you know, doesn't want to wear armor. No, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. Ruggedly handsome. I mean, you want to talk about, oh my gosh. I used to tell you guys all the time that this is Mr. Lightwork to me sometimes, even though he's a King of Pentacles, because they're just so sexy. This person wants to do some things to you that you have never experienced before. But you know what? That's another, listen. In order to walk away from the life that I have been trying to build myself out of, and or creating enough space and distance so that I could actually have what I want, which is a happy family life, and to be able to accept the recognition that I'm actually as amazing as I was told that I was at the beginning of this, all along, all that's been on my mind is my person. And you don't want to believe that because you think blank, 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 because some reader told you this, because some friend of yours said that. I don't care what they all said. Your true person, your actual real divine masculine, not a karmic, not a false twin, your real person, every move they've made since they started making moves has been to take them to you, because their dream has never stopped being coming to save you. Do you understand? So guess what? Guess what? Not only are they going back to the beginning of their awakening, but they're remembering everything that they learned before they hopped off the tree and started the journey. Remember the Six of Wands. Remember the Six of Wands. Had that wreath on the end of it. Marriage, family, these goals have always been about them getting to you first. Everything else will be added. But first I want to build the kingdom with my queen. I can't. Okay, here's another thing. Some of you don't realize that this is the only cup that looks like this in the entire deck. Isn't it weird how all the stories, because all the journeys, all the stories are in this. This is for all twin flames. I just realized this. This is for everybody. Every story has shown up. Even stories I didn't know existed, which was like, remember, it was like Empress with the, okay, you get what I'm saying. Okay, so this is the only cup that looks like this, and a lot of people don't know. I'll show you. In the Rider-Waite, you can look if you have your own Rider-Waite. Oh my gosh, it opened right to it. God loves us. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, beautiful, fair, dreamy woman. Oh my gosh, dream woman, dreamy. Okay. As one who sees visions in a cup. A lot of people don't realize that this cup is magical, but a lot of people also don't realize that the king gave this cup to the queen, and it's the most special cup in the entire world. And the queen uses this cup to remind, the king, sorry, did I say queen? The king uses this cup to remind the queen whenever he's not there that he's always there, and she can keep up with him, and she can kind of watch him and love him. And I get the sense that this is not meaning that you're supposed to be watching tarot and looking into crystal balls and stuff. I think that crystal balls, helicopters and crystal balls. All right. I'm sorry. That's actually a fantastic OnlyFans idea. You can take it. I'm not going there. All right. So I think this is saying that you need to remember that you've had their heart since the very beginning. Look at the imagery. Wand, cup, right? Someone far stuck on here, someone far over here stuck. Okay, now let's just reverse this real quick. And what do we have? We have a wand, we have a cup. I think what they're trying to say is the energy was sent down to reverse what happened before and to take the divine masculine back to where they were supposed to be. The divine feminine is watching, and I think still believes that this divine masculine is stuck on this tree or just hasn't been moving fast enough, But I think the real point of this was not to look for your DM in anger or pain or fear, because I think most of it is fear. I think that even those of you who are mad or bitter with your DM, it's actually you're just afraid, okay? And that's okay. It happens sometimes, again, to the best of us. But I think this is saying, look, make sure that you're watching yourself. I know this sounds weird, But I don't think this was about watching for the king. I think this was more so about being able to watch the kingdom, to be able to be there for your kingdom by knowing that this cup of love has been with you this whole time. I think this cup of love was meant to be visions of the past and the future, but not looking to where your DM actually is. Like, why would you want to sit and watch your king just sit in the middle of the ocean? You know, like, who wants to watch that? That's really sad and scary. But I think that instead, if you could use this to kind of help you keep up with everything, ask yourself what's been in your cup of vision. Matter of fact, let's just ask yourself this. Ask yourself, have you been a pessimist or an optimist? Have you been half full, half empty? Or just the glass is half? Like, what have you been doing while your DM has been on their journey and you already had their love? Because this is where they've either been, where they already are, where they're headed, again, depending on where you are on the journey. I cannot be the one in a general reading to tell thousands and thousands and thousands of you each where you are on your journey. So please stop calling readers out for that. They can't, none of us can help you like that. You understand that, right? Like, I'm just, okay, cool. All right, good. I want to make sure. But what I can do is I can say to you, listen, wherever your person is, they've been thinking about you the whole time. Everything that they've been doing has been getting them to a place so that they can have the life they want with you. And even now, as we're moving into this kind of more future energy, looking back, right? Back from the past. And we're going, I guess maybe we'll call it back to the future. You see what? Someone telling you, listen, stop worrying. I'm on the way. I've been on the journey this whole time in the spirit. I know what you've been dealing with. As I've been laying here, you don't think I've been seeing you? You don't think that in this awakened state that I know what you've been going through? Come on. This person is, I think, trying to let all divine feminines out there know who are watching this right now. You have been my spark from the beginning. And even if I started my awakening before I met you, that staff that I carried, when I came and I lit on your flame and then walked back away, you just put even more in my mind. Because let me ask you a question. If you had a magical stick, all right. If you had a magical stick, would you ever light that bitch on fire? Absolutely not. But your divine masculine meets you with their magical stick and you spark it and it never goes out. You don't think they're going to remember you? They have been trying to find you all around the world. And some of you get mad and you type, well, he know where to find me. Listen, you need to go on and get out of here. That's exactly why he didn't call you. But y'all don't want to hear me say that. I'm supposed to be kind and I'm not supposed to tell you the truth about yourself, right? Only the truth about your DM, except for when you don't want to hear. Come on, y'all. I'm just doing my job. And this is not Nuremberg trials. I'm not doing nothing bad. I'm doing my best to bless you with truth. And honey, the fact that this shows up in the end, this card was the one that confirmed for us the whole family thing. And look what this person has been, and this was, wow. The 4 and the 8 of Cups was what made me look at this. This person, and that's why they wouldn't, you misunderstood them. You misunderstood them. I'm not going deeper in that. Nope. This message is literally already an hour. So, oh my gosh, it's even longer than that. Oh my gosh. I gotta stop saying short, because if I say short, it's long, right? Okay. I want you to understand. This person's dream, vision, goal has not changed. Just because they never told you it was, it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, there are just things about your person that you will literally, to the day they die, they will never tell you, and you cannot be so mad about it. Okay? They have known. You see the light around their head? What did we point out about the light around the baby? I pointed it. If I didn't say it to you, I thought it. So forgive me. Maybe I didn't say it to you. But I see the sun here around that baby's head. And I'm just telling you that this person has known from the very beginning that only you would be. Girl, why are you getting so emotional? I don't know if you guys hear my voice crack, but I'm just like really into this message. So this person knew that you'd be the only person that they could do this with. And you think that because they didn't just get with you and go have a baby real quick, even if it's just a spiritual, metaphorical baby or whatever, you think that means something about you or something about them not being awakened. Bruh, forgive me that I never wanted to have kids because I grew up poor. And it was around that time when I was 6 that I realized I was poor for the first time. And that was around the same time I told my mom I didn't want to have kids. Because I didn't want to bring unhappy children into this terrible, awful world. That's how I felt. Still how I feel. But that does not mean that as time goes forward, that maybe I don't realize that a spiritual baby's about it, right? Or that maybe there is someone that I could trust, that I could believe. Okay, hello? Can you guys, I got a call. I'm so sorry. I don't even know if this, oh my gosh, I'm just going to finish this message. I don't know what just happened. I had a client just call me, which never happens. I call you. So when someone calls me, that was a little strange. Okay, now, by the way, phone calls are on sale. All right. Woo, getting a little warm. I'm getting a little warm. I think the last thing that I was talking about was just the fact that they understood that you were someone they could build this life with. And I think that's the point that a lot of people miss, is that you can't stop a dream that from that long. You can't stop something from manifesting, and you can't stop someone from seeing what they see. What you can do is you can complicate things, and but you can't change anything about what someone wants to do. It's intrinsic. It's something that they're just going to naturally be drawn to. And I think in this case, you've got someone who's just naturally drawn to truth, to light, to hope. And even when they were on the tree, even when things weren't going well, they still saw that dream with you as possible, which still, I mean, it just says so much about how they feel about you. So to see that in the end, there's still a rebirth that needs to happen. I will say that if this hasn't happened yet, like if the rebirth has not occurred, you're probably still dealing with this energy. But if you know you're pretty close to union, this is all you're really waiting for. You're just waiting for them to finally get to where they're supposed to be. You're not waiting for them to grow or change. They will continue to grow and change no matter what time, day, year, and separation status. I'm just letting you know that. But you can trust that this goal that they've had in mind since this was the thing that got them to move in the first place. Now I'm sitting here thinking, Mr. Lightwork probably gets so frustrated with me because I just don't even get it. I just don't even understand it. All I can focus on is all the things that didn't work, right? All I can focus on is all the reasons why he wouldn't want to be with me. But I keep forgetting that, like I just told you guys, he might have said one thing, but his action said something completely different. So your DM could have been going through all of this stuff and saying blah, 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 please, let's not, they're never really just saying blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Anyways. But in the end, this is what they were doing and you didn't even know. So, woo, this was supposed to be short, child. I'm sorry, but the syncs got me. I'm not going to lie, y'all. The syncs got me. The syncs and then the cards that got called that didn't even show up, but then did show up. I'm just saying. I'm going to read this and I'm going to read the back. Hold on. Let's read this so I can understand what the back card means. Wait, this is the right one. Let's read Rebirth. Oh, you guys, listen. A wondrous event is about to occur. Allow your innocent excitement to be expressed. Go ahead and feel your youthful exuberance. Participate fully in this tender moment. Now, the reason why I think this is so important is because we've had all these, pages. Oh, that's a strength card. Pages and this kind of youthful vibe showing up. And I think that this is taking the divine masculine back to when they were young and when they were innocent and when they still believed that family was what they thought it was. I know that I had that moment in my adulthood, or not even then, honestly. It was like in my teens where I realized those family traditions that had slowly started to fade out of my family that I missed so much were never, ever coming back. And I started to realize that they weren't what I thought they were. And that's why they weren't allowed to come back. And that it was okay that they weren't coming back. And as these things move forward, as time progresses, your divine counterpart has to be able to integrate these truths, has to be able to see themselves in that position. There's so many things that have to happen, but when the moment comes, the only thing they're being asked to do is enjoy it. And that's exactly why this person did not just hop in, get ready, and go have a baby with you, whether it was real or, again, a spiritual child, if you will. This is why. Because your divine counterpart spiritually, instinctively was told that they would know when it was time to go back. was told that they would know when it was time to go home and to reclaim their throne and to, get to the baby making. Okay? Don't judge them because you don't get that. Don't judge them because you can't seem to stay in your own lane and you keep trying to figure out what they're doing over here. You better stay in your own lane so you don't crash. Stop tripping. Now, hold on. I forgot. We got a back card. Ugh. Whoa. What are you? Oh, my. You guys. The Four of Wands is underneath both of these. Both. The Four of Wands is underneath both. Did we look over here? I know this is not the Four of Wands. What is this? Ace of Pentacles. I'm so excited. I'm sorry, but this is just dope. What's back here? This is crazy. Harvest Lodge of the Stones. Do you know what this is? It's the Queen of Pentacles. What did I tell you back here? Y'all are going to be so mad at me. You're going to think that I somehow procured this message from out of the ether and worked in conjunction with spirit to be like, please, just this once, can you please let my message be in the card so that everyone will believe me? I have been trying to tell y'all the same thing since I started this ministry. As I just told you guys recently, maybe I didn't. Did I tell you guys this? But anyways, my first couple readings, if you go back and look at one of the first 2 or 3 readings I ever did, I wanted to teach people about spiritual abundance. My channel was a twin flame channel and I wanted to talk about finance. I was trying to help you guys become the Queen of Pentacles. Do you understand that? So when I say to you that I went back to the beginning, see the page, see the King's journey, I see all this stuff and then we freaking come back around and it's like, hey, guess what? You guys, it's the Queen of Pentacles. Because in the end, that's who they're going home to. It's what they wanted all along. Hold on. What does Queen of Pentacles say? I'm about to... Y'all, I felt sick twice in this message. I was shaking. I feel crazy right now. I got hot. All the things. It's 67 degrees in my house right now, and I'm sweating. When I tell y'all, this is what I be trying to talk to y'all about, but y'all don't want to believe me. All right, Grace, stop mumbling. And I am mumbling, but you guys wouldn't know that because the mic is right by my mouth, so... Okay, all right. I'm going. I'm looking for the card. What was back there? I already forgot. Queen of Pentacles. Woo! Okay. Wow. I just want to tell you something really quick. 8 of Pentacles. Develop your craft by continued practice. Okay? Totally in alignment. Okay? Page is like the apprentice, and then boom. Okay, we're doing it. Now, 10 of Pentacles. Accept recognition. Why? Because this was also about helping you build your confidence, DM. Great. So something has to happen. But then, provide plenty. Now, here's where this gets weird. Because some of you saw in the very beginning when we did this message, this particular energy, this started off with bounty and harvest. Come on. Seek, what was it? In struggle, seek higher mind. Bounty. Harvest. Rebirth. That was the energies to start this reading. And in the end, what do we have? The Queen of Pentacles, who again, they saw you, and the reason that they kind of fell back a bit was because they saw themselves as the Page of Pentacles having almost nothing, being dang near, Tiny Tim in this bit. While you over here in your 9 of Pentacles, you were already the Queen of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles, to me, again, going along with all Grace's stories in here, is the Queen of Pentacles takes off the crown. She's still the queen, right? When you don't go to sleep in your crown, okay? Spiritually, sure. But not your actual crown. That'd be crazy. So you go to sleep. I will tell you what though, some people probably are really good because some people have certain hairstyles where they're not gonna lay on them. I'm picturing, what was her name? Was it Lisa? No, that wasn't right. That's the other girl. I'm picturing the girl from Friday where she was like, was it Regina? I can't remember what her name was. Anyways, some of y'all actually, that's a message for some of y'all. Stop trying to sleep with your crown on. Stop being so afraid of being dethroned. You're not going anywhere, ma'am. Sir, what are you doing? Anyways, Queen of Pentacles takes the crown off, takes the robes, still the queen, goes out in her backyard, still the queen. That's still her house. That's still the kingdom. That's still the castle. goes out into her garden of abundance where everything just grows and she's just perfect and green thumb and everything's good. Even the snails are in abundance. So she's just, party, party. She's just happy, having a great old time. And then guess what? She goes back into her house. They met you and you had your guard down. It was like when, oh my gosh, it was like when the prince met Drew Barrymore in Ever After in the backyard when she was actually like, well, it wasn't the backyard, but you know what I'm saying? Like in her, it was kind of like her backyard, right? And it was like, not in her back. Oh my gosh, Grace. And he was like, oh, hey, you must be royalty and stuff because I'm royalty. So, and she's like, oh yes, I'm just cooling. I'm just hanging out. I'm just chilling. And then every time afterwards when they met, she had to kind of like have this whole thing because really now she had to prove that she was actually the queen wearing the throne. He already knew her as the girl from hanging out, right? He already knew her as the Nine of Pentacles. And he thought, wow, this woman's amazing. So much that he wanted to marry her. But the truth was that whole time, Drew Barrymore wasn't even a dang gone queen, princess, nothing. But baby, I tell you what, when it was time, she stepped right into that role, didn't she? Even down to the minute. If you've never seen Ever After, you should check it out. I want you to consider that your divine masculine, even having the wrong idea about your truth, still saw you for who you were in so many ways and also was their own person. When they cut away from Drew Barrymore in Ever After, they showed you the prince who had his own whole life going. Sometimes he told her, sometimes he didn't. Countess de l'Ancre. Listen, I'm just trying to tell y'all, I'm feeling all the feels right now. And I'm just getting the sense of both counterparts needing this time, whether you guys were, together in separation or a little bit of both, needing this time from the very beginning of the divine counterparts journey. But for you, it was reminding you of who you've always been. Always. And you being willing to step into it, even if you had to wait to the very last second to remember, oh yeah, I can save myself. Remember, oh my, bruh, I just realized what the freaking end of Ever After looks like. Now I'm not gonna spoil it because I'm not gonna spoil it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm not gonna spoil it. But if you know that movie, you know what I'm talking about. Think about what happened in the end. Anyways. All right, I love you guys. This was so much longer than it was supposed to be. Your divine masculine wants a family. It may not necessarily mean that they want to have babies with you, but they do want to feel safe and at home when they're with you and anyone else in their life. And some of them are going to take longer than others. Some of them are going to do things really quickly and then still feel like they have other stuff to do. And you're going to be looking like, what the hell? I thought that you'd be ready after blank or blank or blank. Listen, your job is not to be caught up in what they're doing. Your job is not to use the gifts that they've given you, like their love, to stalk them and be creepy. Your job is not to try to control their flow of abundance. Honey, you've been an abundant force to be reckoned with since before they even met you. I want you to be at your best. Your divine counterpart needs you there. We will continue to adjust our crowns on this channel because as much as we may not admit it, the reason we keep coming back to tarot in general, but especially Grace, is because we understand that there is still more truth needed. And there is more truth, more growth, more lessons every single day, not because we're inadequate or not good enough, but simply because we are ascended masters, ascended beings. We are aware that we know everything, that because we know nothing, and we know nothing because we know everything kind of thing. We get that. Wipe the slate clean of what you think happened with your divine masculine, because this story, the syncs that showed up, the stories within the stories were meant to reach you for a purpose. And it was most likely to get you to remember, and also to help the divine masculine be able to provide for someone as abundant, as blessed, as favored as you. I'm going to go because if I don't, this will become a 2-hour reading, and it's already an hour and a half, and you guys are probably like, Grace, I don't think you know what time is. I don't. Time does not exist, and I've been outside of time for about 2 or 3 years now, so do forgive me. It's a blessing, though, because most of you guys know I pretty much go over in all my personal readings. So I don't think most of you guys are complaining. All right. Hello. Welcome. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. This is my website. I have... Okay, this is terrible. This is just terrible. Oh, this is bad. Ah, jeez. Okay. Nope, Grace, you're a good steward of your gifts. Hello. Welcome to my channel. If you're... Wait. Before you leave... Do me a favor, by the way, because look at the sun. Look at the sun. Do me a favor right quick, bruh. Do me a favor, bruh. Bruh. Do me a favor, bruh. Go ahead and like this video. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But no, go ahead and comment either a sun or a sunflower, okay? A sun or a sunflower. Because I just have a strong feeling that sometimes messages like this are better remembered when we actually take the time to do something to add to the conversation, when we take the time to solidify it. Maybe some of you, the next time you go to the store, if you see a sunflower, buy it. I just have a feeling here that this message cannot be forgotten. This message cannot be forgotten. So contribute something to this. Yeah. Or a rainbow. I just saw a double rainbow real bright in my head. All right, Grace, this is not what you're supposed to be doing. Hello, I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I am an intuitive life strategist. I'm here to offer you intuitive life strategies for your life and your journey and your twin flame stuff. Me and Mr. Lightwork, my divine masculine, we're over here in union. We live together, we love each other, but in the beginning it wasn't so hot. So if you want to talk to both of us to get a better perspective, we have these things called dynamic chats, okay? I also do phone calls, as you might remember from earlier in the reading, you know. If you're not interested in a personal reading, because you don't want to do tarot no more, but you want to talk on the phone, please don't think that I'm going to be channeling and doing a seance or something. We're going to talk, okay? I got a degree in clinical psychology and counseling. I'm not going to be a therapist or nothing, but I can definitely tell you if you're going to need therapy. That's number 1. Number 2, you probably don't need therapy. You're probably not crazy. And number 3, I could probably help you through some things that maybe there's just nobody else out there you can talk to. So if you're looking for something like that, check out the website. Everything's 44% off right now. And you know what? As we get closer to Mother's Day, I'm probably going to have a couple sales. Okay. All right. No, I like that voice. Let's do the voice. I don't like your voice. You know what? Get out of here then. Get out of here. Scram. Nobody likes your voice either. Oh, I gotta go. I'm getting delirious. I don't even know why. I accept PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. You can see my whole house in this glare. My email is thefiery. There's no point. It's pointless. thefierygrace@gmail.com. You can find all this information on the About Me part of this channel. Don't forget to check out the community tab from time to time. Follow my divine masculine, Mr. Lightwork. Mr. Lightwork. Mr. Lightwork. I don't know why I did it. And oh, by the way, if my readings are too expensive for you, you know, if you don't see them as affordable, you don't think the sales are very good, go check out Mr. Lightwork. Do you guys know he's got phone calls for like $40? I mean, this is when they're on sale, obviously. But I'm just saying, if you don't like, I got stuff that's cheap too, though. I do. And it's a real good deal. I got I got a single card reading. I got rune readings and ascension flow, which is like pull a few cards. I got a few things that with the 44% off especially are under $40. So look, I'm not trying to, tell you to just go Mr. Lightwork. All right. I'm also not telling you not to go to Mr. Lightwork. What am I telling you? I'm telling you everything's on sale, so buy now. Okay, I'm done. I don't know what else I'm doing here. I think I just like to hang out. I do this from time to time. I think I really believe that I was going to come up here and talk to you guys for like 15 minutes about this. Bruh, why was I so wrong? Okay, did you leave your sunshine? Did you leave your rainbow? Why am I doing this? Who is this? What is this voice? I don't know. It's a conglomeration of multiple voices, okay? All right, we're going to read one more thing. We'll be out, okay? This is a wonderful time for your DM. They're succeeding in ways they never dreamed possible. Things that they have begun are now blessed with abundance and success. So keep your thoughts positive, because everything will and already has begun to turn out beautifully. This is a time of really brilliant new ideas and solutions. Have confidence in yourself. Have confidence in your DM. Know that the work you've both done personally and spiritually will bring and already has brought astonishing changes to your life, and it's not over. And you have been on the right path for your own enlightenment for so long. Your divine masculine's been doing it. You didn't even notice. Maybe you did. Public recognition. The attainment of great personal insights, vibrant physical and emotional health. It's all good, babes. It doesn't always feel good, but readings like this remind us that it is good. Taking the time to talk to God and ask God questions that, you know, even when they come out, they sound stupid, but God don't think of that we're stupid, right? So we might say, God, why wasn't I worth protecting? I don't understand. And then God's like, really, were you not worth protecting? And you're like, but I mean, no, I know I'm always protected. I guess I am always protected. Oh, I do know that, huh? And it's like, how did I get here? It's like, sometimes you just have to get a reminder. Sometimes you have to ask those questions that feel really silly and answer them like a silly person and laugh it off and move forward and know that the good times, they're only just beginning. It will only get better from here. See it, believe it, feel it. It's on the way. I gotta go because now it's like I'm getting told to go. All right, I love you. Bye.